Alright, hi everyone, welcome to today's video. On the day it's being recorded, it is Friday, September 12th, 2025. It is around it's probably close to 20 till 8 right now. Temperature is around maybe around 74 or so. Yeah, I'm heading to work, and this weekend's gonna be kind of weird because normally this is my weekend that I'm off since the current pay period ends technically tomorrow. But yeah. The thing is that I swapped this weekend for next weekend because I needed next weekend off with the other overnight transporter. And we both agreed that I would work for him this weekend. That way he can work for me next weekend. So, yeah. I'm going to a rock festival. Well, just more like just a festival concert for not like this coming Sunday, but the Sunday after. So it'll be the 21st or so, or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, me and a few friends are gonna be going. Got the hotel figured out. My time's all figured out. Just need the finances to be more or less on the same side, and I think we're gonna get there. All right. Now the thing is that it is in another state. It's one of the surrounding states, I will say. I won't say which one, but the plan is that, well, since I work that Friday night, I think the plan is that we're going to get off at the same time or whatever. And we're gonna head to the city, state, whatever of the concert or whatever. But we're also gonna do some sightseeing. There's at least one thing that I want to see. But yeah. Okay, cool. Is my charger in here? Guys, I feel I got my iPad with me. I want to say yes, that I have it. Let me double check real quick. All right. So I have it because I was a little worried because I didn't want to have to borrow one of the chargers of our Rovers. But I will if I have to. But I really try not to, which is why I always have my own charger for my spot or whatever. But so yeah, that's what the plan is. I think leave sometime Saturday morning, I mean, it's not too far of a drive. It's in one of the surrounding states of Ohio. So your options is 1 out of 5 for Pennsylvania, West Virginia, Kentucky, Indiana, and Michigan. So it's one of those 5 states that we're going to. You gotta pick which one. Although you probably already know by the time you long after see this, but you know, it's whatever. Who cares? Yeah, it definitely feels like fall. I do have my sweatpants with me because I know it's definitely gonna be kind of cold in the morning. I know that for a fact, but yeah, I think, so yeah, there's at least something I want to see down there, because ironically, me and said person were thinking about asking each other about the trip, which is kind of ironically, because I was thinking about it at work one night, and my friend was like, you know what, that's like kind of funny, because I was thinking about asking you, you know, blah blah blah, whatever. And you know, it's just kind of how should I say this? You know how like friends have like that, like friend intuition or something? That's what I can probably best describe it as. Like, if I'm being brutally honest, which is kind of weird and kind of funny, honestly, but you know, it is what it is. So yeah. Okay, I feel like that's all I have. So yeah, the plan is we're gonna go down. We're gonna leave somewhere sometime Saturday morning after I get off of work. So I have to make sure that I have a bunch of my stuff with me, either before I leave for work or like after. I don't know how I'm gonna do that, but I'll figure something out. We're gonna get down there or whatever. Hotel check-in is Saturday at 4 o'clock, from what I've been told. Let's see here. We're not gonna leave until probably sometime Monday morning or whatever. Head back home, and then we're just kind of just chill, because I also requested time off for that day. Oh my god, it really does smell like sewage in that corner. Why? I don't know. yeah, I requested time off, so pretty much after next Friday, I'll technically be off for a week. So my question now is, am I still going to get paid even though I've swapped weekends? Because the paycheck that technically starts Sunday is that check. So I'll still get paid for that Monday. That is a guarantee. I will still get paid for that Monday. And, also that Friday, because I'll be at work. Now, I don't know if I'll get paid on that Saturday and Sunday that I needed off. Well, I, switched. But I don't know. And I think it's with that check starting on Sunday. That one's gonna be kind of tight, I think. And I also want to try to get a haircut done with this current check that ends tomorrow. Well, okay, technically it ends Sunday morning at midnight. If you want to, well, yeah, if you want to be technical. Yeah. I don't know. Okay. Bro, just hard, intense staring at me like, whatever, dude. But yeah. So now that I'm done talking about that, I keep going off of tangents of wanting to finish off of that so I can talk about the range of emotions that I definitely experienced throughout the week. Because, yeah, I was definitely something. So I'm going to try to do everything in order. As best as I can. Sunday and Monday were kind of, they're, whatever. I had to work because, I fully got off for my 3 days. What was that? Tuesday? Yeah, Tuesday morning. So they were kind of, whatever. I didn't really think much of it. Tuesday itself was kind of, whatever. Surprise stay over at the homie's crib. Which is something that I didn't really fully plan for, and kind of didn't want to do myself, but it's whatever. And then from there I stayed at night, whatever, slept until about maybe 3 o'clock or so. And that's when I learned two things. One, we got a new Mega that's for the new game coming out next month, which is kind of exciting. It was Mega Malamar. Malamar's from Gen 6. And it's just everything from the Pokemon Company was all like Malamar. Even for their daily Twitch stream, it was like, I am Malamar, I am Malamar, I am Malamar. All in all caps. I'm like, God damn, dude. And then the second, which is kind of a twofer, there was not one, but two different kinds of shootings happening within miles of each other in neighboring states in this country. The first took place at a university in Utah. And, political activists, Charlie Kirk was, he was shot right around here in the neck. And pretty much he died, like right then and there. Probably en route to the hospital. I don't know, probably. And then the other happened in, what was it, like a high school in Colorado or something? Yeah, I think it was Colorado. Because it was, right next door to Utah. And, the school shooting in Colorado got completely overshadowed by the whole Charlie Kirk assassination. Now, I will say this for the record. Even though both me and Charlie Kirk were in the same political party, as, in terms of identity, more or less, and, like, party registered to, that's how we vote. Which, it's whatever. A lot of stuff that he said, especially during the campaign last year, especially, I did not agree with a damn thing he said. But, that being said, the fact that he was assassinated from 200 yards, so literally from like an adjacent building of where his like stand was, just gunned down after he was asking a question about gang violence. One shot went out. He gets hit in the neck and falls back. Now keep in mind that his wife and two young children, I think the oldest is 3. He and his wife have 2 very young, very small children, no older than 3. And they had to be there and witness their husband and father being taken from them in like a fraction of a second. Now, with that being said, I may not fully agree on his beliefs, but as an American, I condemn all forms of political violence. regardless if you hate the person, like the person, or, you know, whatever. Oh, it must be 8 o'clock. Damn, I definitely left kind of early, so I can kind of stroll a little bit for a while. Just kind of take my time. I mean, I did leave kind of early. Usually when it's 8 o'clock, I'm still down over by Rallies. I couldn't think of what the damn restaurant was for a second. But yeah. But yeah, I condone any form. It's just violence is never the answer for anything. I don't care if you're like Democrat, Republican, far right, fascist, or Nazi or whatever, or like a far left socialist or communist or whatever. Don't matter what your beliefs are or how different we all are. But killing someone just because you don't agree with them is never truly the answer. Now, it would have been a lot different if the person, like, missed and shot someone else in the crowd. It would be slightly different, I should say, but it's still not right to kill up someone. But as of today, this being recorded, and about 33 hours of a manhunt, they finally got him. But I'll continue more with that here in just a second. So I want to talk about something else that happened. Well, 2 more things that happened this week. And then we'll come back to the Charlie Kirk assassination and them finally finding the killer after 30-some hours. So, yesterday was the 24th anniversary of the September 11th attacks in New York City, Washington, D.C., and a lonely little field out in Pennsylvania. I mean, we all know the 9/11 attacks. It was the biggest major attack on American soil since Pearl Harbor. Over 3,000 people died, either in New York, Washington, or on any of the flights that were, hijacked or whatever. But yeah, as we are well aware, there were 4 hijacked planes, 3 of which hit their direct targets. 2 obviously went to both Twin Towers in New York City. The other hit the Pentagon. Now, for context, I am currently 26 years old. I just turned 2 about 3 months prior. So, yeah, I was practically a toddler. I was practically a toddler, a little shit, when 9/11 happened. Oh, they took that tree down, huh? Was it too much of like a blind spot? Is that why they took it down? But yeah, the fourth target was either the Capitol building or the White House. No one is fully sure, but it's the plane that landed in a field in Pennsylvania. So yeah, right as soon as the country was, remembering 9/11, which for some people was like, oh, that was ancient. I'm like, bruh, that was still within the last quarter century of a big major event that we're still dealing with and feeling to this day. I mean, hell, the world that I grew up in is a post 9/11 world. Why do you think we have the Department of Homeland Security? Why do you think we have the NSA and all that shit of all those people monitoring everything you do? Why do you think we're kind of a police state, after the fact? And why do you think Bush Jr. dragged the war in Afghanistan for pretty much for 20 years? Why do you think there was a decade-long manhunt for Osama bin Laden? But, I don't know. It's just a little food for thought, I guess. What's going on over here? But yeah, we should not forget 9/11. They still haven't got rid of all these street signs from the Popcorn Festival? Damn, that's crazy. But yeah. Do you remember where you were on that fateful day? 24 years ago? Now, I don't fully remember where exactly I was, but from what I was told, I was at my then babysitter's. My dad told me that he was at a bar when it happened. Okay. So yeah, that's what happened yesterday. Today, I guess Nintendo had a very big direct that I completely forgot about. And they did announce not one, not two, not three, not four, but 5 new megas for 4 different Pokemon. I was like, God damn. So, the new Pokemon, the Pokemon with new Mega forms, from the order that I've seen them, is as follows. Chestnut, Delphox, and Greninja. So yeah, the Gen 6 starters get megas. All three of them. Just like how the Kanto starters got their megas in X and Y. And the Gen 3 starters got their megas with Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. The Kalos starters are getting their starters in the new game next month. But also, it was revealed that Raichu doesn't get one, but two megas. So yeah, so there's going to be a Mega Raichu X and a Mega Raichu Y. You know, the other two Pokemon that have two Mega Evolutions? Charizard and Mewtwo. Yeah. So, it's gonna be quite interesting. And those were all announced when I woke up around probably around 2 o'clock. About 2 o'clock this afternoon. So that was 6 hours ago. Since it's after 8 now. Well, let's see here. So now we get to talk about the new information on the shooter of Charlie Kirk, which I told you that we'll come back to. So, like how I mentioned earlier, 33 hours had passed and the perpetrator was found and arrested. Who is the perpetrator? Right now, based on the simple information that we have and that I know of as of right now, it is 22-year-old Tyler Robinson. Okay, whatever floats your boat, I guess. Yeah, the motive is hasn't been fully specified that I know of, but apparently the story on how he was caught and arrested is when the FBI released photos of the perpetrator thanks to, campus security. His dad looked at him like, that's definitely my boy right there. So I would assume that the kid gave it some thought, gave it some time, went up to his dad. He confessed to them, asked what he should do, and his dad was like, I don't know. I'm going to talk to our church priest and see what he says. And, well, since they live in Utah, yes, they are Mormon. So the dad goes to the Mormon priest or pastor or whatever, Are the priests of a Mormon church called priests, or are they like pastors or ministers? I don't know. I'm not a Mormon. I didn't grow up Mormon, so I honestly have no clue. Great song choice. But yeah, as far as I know of, the dad talked to the priest. The priest's like, probably should report him. Or I don't know how the conversation went between the two of them, but some kind of agreement was made, because I would assume that both of them were upset about it, and you know, all that whatnot. He just, I guess the priest minister or whatever, calls the U.S. Marshal, and that eventually led to his arrest and confessing like, hey, I was the one that did it, whatever. And he's apparently expected to be in court on Tuesday. Yeah, I think that's when, something like that. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure that he's supposed to end up in court on Tuesday. But he is also expected to get the death penalty. Now, whether or not if I agree or disagree with that decision by the governor of Utah, I don't know. That's up to your own interpretation. Although, I do support the death penalty in certain situations. Like, for example, I believe that pedophiles and sex offenders should automatically be given the death penalty without parole, without bail. And I believe that they need to be executed. Now, I'm pretty sure that's something that more or less everyone would, agree with. Killing someone, it depends on the person, and also kind of depends on the context and the situation. So, like, for example, if you were being robbed by someone and they just so happen to have a gun, but you grab yours first, you shoot and kill the guy or whoever, the perpetrator or whatever. Oh. And doing it as a defensive measure to protect not only you but whoever else is in your house. I don't think you deserve the death penalty if it was in defense, especially when it comes to like a robbery, burglary, or like some type of home invasion. I mean, yeah, that will definitely stay with you for the rest of your life. Like, I killed a person once, depending on, how old or how young you were at the time. But yeah, just going all out and just murdering someone just for the hell of it, it's not cool. And but depending on who you killed, like, let alone whoever you shot, depends on your punishment too. Like, if you were to say, I don't know, it's just a hypothetical situation here. Let's say that there's like a outdoor campaign rally for, I don't know, let's say someone is running for governor at like a outdoor campaign trail stop, or whatever, and the candidate for governor gets shot but doesn't die. Going after any type of a public official, I think the perpetrators should get, I think they should get the death penalty with no bail, no parole. At least that's what I think. But if the person doesn't die, I would say that's at least a life sentence in jail. But if they end up dying from like the wound or like immediate, then I would probably say that would definitely give you an automatic execution. But, that's just my thought. And, I may not like his political ideas, or let alone his overall undying allegiance to Trump. He's still, a human being. He was a husband and a father that, now all three of them have to, like, well, for one, they're gonna have to bury him. And their two young kids are gonna grow up without a father. And, that sucks, Losing anyone that's a father figure to you, whether if it's, your actual dad, a stepdad, an uncle, or a grandfather, or just anyone that's close to you that's, a father-like figure to you. Losing them at any age, regardless on, how it happened, it's devastating. That's baggage that you have to carry with you pretty much for the rest of your life. Everyone's having a fire tonight. Now, as many of you guys know, 8 years ago, well, 7 years ago, actually. Yeah, 7 years ago. 7 years ago, ironically, next month, marks the anniversary of when my own father died after being in a coma for a little over a month and a half from a very bad motorcycle accident during the summer of 18, which is the summer that I graduated high school. The last major thing that we ever did, like just me and him, well, we were definitely playing poker at the family reunion that year. I got my ass kicked, but you know, it's stuff like that. It's the little things that you remember. But my last conversation with him, he was over in the other yard, which now belongs to someone else. He was in the other yard, getting rid of some like branches and stuff, just trying to, burn some of it down. Just, to see what he was doing. It didn't really last too long, but it was a decent 5-minute, conversation. And, he was also, drinking, which something urged him to get on his motorcycle, and drive when he's drunk. I don't know. Just, we were just, sitting around waiting for Dad to come back, and, he never did. So we thought something bad happened. Mom gets home from work maybe 2 hours later. And then about an hour and a half later, we get a knock at the door. And there were 2 Stadies, in the driveway. Mom answers the door. And that's when they informed her that Dad was in a very bad motorcycle accident. And he's being transported to OSU. That was a wild night. But the main thing that definitely hurt me was that it was the moment that we were allowed to see him for the first time since, earlier that day or afternoon or whatever. It was kind of actually the day prior, because I think it was definitely at some point during the following day, and like the wee morning hours, I think. I don't think any of us got sleep that night anyway. But anyways, we were allowed to go in and see him. Just, me, Mom, and Katrina. We go in the ICU room, and he's all beaten up to hell, scrapes, bruises, cuts, blood all over him. He's deep in a coma. Seeing him like that definitely left some kind of like scar for me. It was definitely traumatic, for sure. Just seeing someone that you've always known as, strong and, always kept things moving, the main breadwinner. And just seeing him like that was just, it messes with you, man. It really does. It sucks. And the fact that, this was also the summer that, it was a year after I became an Eagle Scout. It's the summer that I graduated high school. And, I was prepping myself to, get myself a job. I was getting a girlfriend too. I was also dealing with scouting a little bit here and there. And I was also getting myself ready for college. And it was just all too much, man. Like, I tried my best to use everything else in my daily life as a distraction. And there were points where I just I don't know how much longer I can do this. I mean, I know it's kind of bad that I tried to use everything like that as a distraction, but I don't know, man. It's a really stressful, 3 months or so. But yeah, well, we're here at work, so we're gonna go ahead and call it a video. So thanks so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you all next time. Peace out.